Woohoo! Alright, this book is Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. You know who Amy Poehler is. She's hilarious. I'm a big fan of Parks and Recreation myself. Put together very well. Anyway, this chapter in her book, Yes Please, is called Sometimes I Worry That Not Enough People Hate Me. The chapter here is titled Time Travel. My thoughts on time travel are simple. It exists and we are in control of it. I'm no scientist. I barely made it through my relatively easy college class entitled Physics for the Curious. Our final was a multiple choice test and the answer spelled out Physics for the Curious. I didn't notice the pattern and got a C. Turns out I just wasn't curious enough. The only thing we can depend on in life is that everything changes. The seasons, our partners, what we want and need. We hold hands with our high school friends and swear to never lose touch, and then we do. We scrape ice off our cars and feel like winter will never end, and it does. We stand in the bathroom and look at our face and say, "Stop getting old, face, I command you." And it doesn't listen. Change is the only constant. Your ability to navigate and tolerate change and its painful uncomfortableness directly correlates to your happiness and general well-being. See what I just did there? I saved you thousands of dollars on self-help books. If you can surf your life rather than plant your feet, you will be happier. Maybe I should have called this book Surf Your Life. The cover could feature a picture of me on a giant wave wearing a wizard hat. I wonder if it's too late. I'll make a call. So change happens and time passes. If you hate your stupid, boring town and can't wait to get out of there and show everybody what a kick-ass breakdancer you are, then this is good news. If you get really good at breakdancing and then realize nobody gives a shit about breakdancing anymore, this news is bad. Time moves too slow or too fast, but I know a secret. You can control time. You can stop it or stretch it or loop it around. You can travel back and forth by living in the moment and paying attention. Time can be your bitch if you just let go of the next and the before. I believe you can time travel 3 different ways, with people, places, and things. In the winter of 1997, the Upright Citizens Brigade was asked by High Times magazine to be judges at their world-famous Cannabis Cup. This was a high honor. Perfect pun. You're welcome. Before we took off for the Netherlands, the High Times interviewer sat down with us for a few hours and then realized he had never turned his tape recorder on. Heady days. So we arrived in cold and wet Amsterdam, ready to sample marijuana from all over the world and finally settled the long-standing debate of whether or not purple kush is superior to white rhino. As soon as we got to the venue, people started giving us weed, bags of it, pillowcases filled with it, an amount that would have taken any man or woman down. We were much more concerned about rehearsing our sketches. Matt Besser had written out a running order with cues that the lighting technician should follow. We were going over it when we were told that UCB would be opening for Patti Smith. Totally great pairing. Our show was pretty bad. A supremely stoned audience isn't the best audience for comedy, and our lighting technician lost our cue sheet before we went on. He literally lost it on the walk to the booth. Right before we were introduced, he came up and said, "Bad news, guys. I lost that list you made for me." Then he handed us a sleeping bag full of pot. Patti Smith was amazing. She talked about politics and sang like a soldier. She was so cool and interesting. She stomped around and spit on stage. Spitting is disgusting, but when Patti spits, it looks like ballet. Fun fact, Seth Meyers was in the audience that night. He was living in Amsterdam performing with a group called Boom Chicago. It would be 4 more years before we would officially meet and instantly become friends for life. Do you think it's coincidence that Seth was in the audience again during another seminal night for me? I don't. People help you time travel. People work around you and next to you, and the universe waits for the perfect time to whisper in your ear, "Look this way." There's someone in your life right now who may end up being your enemy, your wife, or your boss. Lift up your head and you may notice. As I watched Patty perform, I took a mental picture of the moment. I looked around and thought about my life. I felt grateful. I noticed every detail. That is the key to time travel. You can only move if you are actually in the moment. You have to be where you are to get where you need to go. Thanks, Amy. That's a very nice sentiment. It's a good book, you know. A little bit boring at times, but whatever. Yes, Please is kind of a nod to our improv stuff with UCB. And it's worth the read.